McKenna plaid is nae impossible to miss.
Uncle Ewan! James broke into a wide smile as he embraced his uncle by marriage. James had been fostered at Ewan's castle as a young lad and had many fond memories of that time. He was also very aware that he owed a goodly portion of his prowess with a sword and his leadership skills to his uncle. "How do things fare at Tyree Keep?" Ewan shrugged.
"All is much the same as when ye were with us. Young Cameron begged to come along on this journey, but your aunt wouldn't hear of it."
James smiled in understanding. His Aunt Grace was fiercely protective of her children. James had always found her to be a reasonable, sweet-tempered woman, but she also possessed a stubborn, hard-headed determination that characterized those who carried McKenna blood.
"My sister coddles her sons," Brian McKenna declared. "I cannae believe that ye allow it, Ewan."
Unoffended by his brother-in-law's remarks, Ewan merely shrugged.
"I prefer peace in my home. Your sister rarely disagrees with me, but when she does, I've learned 'tis to my advantage to do as she asks."
Brian McKenna scoffed, and James lowered his chin, hiding his smile. His father could bluster all he wanted, but he indulged his wife's whims far more than most other husbands, for Eileen Sinclair McKenna would have it no other way. His mother was a formidable woman, and over their years together, his father had developed the good sense to realize it. The conversation ceased as a group of chieftains approached. James blended respectfully into the background, while his older brother Malcolm moved forward, placing himself at their father's side. The pang of resentment stabbed sharply at James, then quickly faded. His brother was being groomed to one day lead the clan. 'Twas fitting that he be a part of this discussion. James recognized many, but not all, of the men who gathered together. Some were stoic, others looked unsettled, and a few were openly defiant. James could hear his father's voice raised above the others as they spoke of the future of Scottish independence and the treachery of the English. Brian McKenna seemed unfazed by the uneasy talk that swirled around him, but James knew his father was concealing his true feelings. He had been a loyal king's man for too many years to simply stand idle while others questioned the boy king's right to rule. Sir James Douglas approached the group and joined in the discussion. He was a broad-shouldered man who carried himself with a distinct air of self-importance, yet he did not appear to have the same influence over the others as Brian McKenna. James noticed several of the men shifting on their feet while the Douglas spoke. Once he was finished, most walked away. James angled his face toward the cloudy sky, then looked to his father, wondering if he wanted to start their journey home now or linger and try to ensure that some of the other clan chiefs would support the boy king.
"Malcolm rides with the Douglas clan,"
Brian McKenna said as he came to stand beside his son.
"I'd like ye to accompany the Armstrongs as they ride home to their lands, James, and stay as long as they have need of ye."
James turned in surprise. "'Tis fitting that Malcolm rides with the Douglas clan, since his betrothed is a Douglas lass, but why must I go with the Armstrong clan?"
"You're always pestering me about the dull routine at McKenna Castle. Well, lad, here's your chance to have an adventure."
His father gave him a tight, even smile, but James was not fooled by this sudden jovial manner. There was something more to this request than a simple show of friendship. James felt certain of it. Brian McKenna was used to being obeyed without question, but the expression on his son's face somehow prompted further explanation.
"Alliances are more important now than ever," his father confided. "Did ye happen to notice the chain around Sir James Douglas's neck and the silver casket dangling at the end of it?"
"Aye."
"'Tis the king's embalmed heart that's locked inside."
James winced. "I heard one of the other knights speak of it, but I thought it was only a rumour."
"Nay, 'tis the truth. The loyalty of the Douglas clan to the boy king and the monarchy will nae be questioned by such a show of devotion."
James glanced over his shoulder to see if anyone